welcome to our Monday 2 o'clock afternoon class, and we hope everybody is having a wonderful time. I talked to Betty Tobias on email today, and she said where she is right now, she's enjoying a crisp, cool breeze, and the leaves are changing colors, and that's one thing I do miss is we don't have any of that. Yep. So we have a nice cloudy day today. I do have to admit this. I can go outside now and not sweat every time I just walk out the door. So it is fall in Florida. That's a good thing. All right. We are working today in book number 274. And the songs are What'll I Do? And we're also going to do When I Fall in Love, because What'll I Do is actually quite an easy song. So we can zip through that one very quickly. All right, yeah, the Zoom musical, just to give you, we already made this announcement, but now that we're recording, we'll make it again. The Zoom musical this week will not be on Friday. It will be on Sunday. We're just shaking things up a little bit at 4 o'clock Florida time, 1 o'clock Arizona time. See, we still have people entering. I'm trying to get people admitted here. No, let's see if we can't get them all in. People who are coming late, I'm struggling getting you in today only because the Zoom has changed a little bit and it's not allowing me to do certain things. So I have to get with Robert later and find out what's up with this. It's his account. So
Dawn?
Yes?
Dawn, I got in at like almost 20 after 1.
Okay.
To Robert's class, and I had no problem.
Oh, okay. I don't know if he, okay, all right. But I'm supposed to be able to do this.
Dawn, there are still people coming in. You're up to 38.
Yep. Yep, but I have to keep checking and I have to keep admitting them. So, it's not like there's something I'm supposed to click in order to get everybody. So if you come late, you can just come in, and it's not allowing me to do that today. So my apologies. I will keep checking up here to see if there are other people in the waiting room and try to admit you by hand, but that's not the way I'd like to do it. So I'll get with Robert later and find out what the Zoom issue is, because we always have technical issues. That's just the way life is. Yeah. Well, okay, here we go with What'll I Do? The first time I heard this was the Linda Ronstadt version, because she did an absolutely gorgeous 40s book of songs with the Nelson Riddle Orchestra. So that's how I actually found out some of these songs. But this was Irving Berlin in 1923. So your great-grandmother was probably listening to this song when it came out. It was introduced by singers Grace Moore and John Steele in Berlin's third Music Box Review. Back in the 20s, they didn't always have musicals to write for, so they kept writing music, and they would introduce new artists and new songs with music reviews, which were kind of like a talent show where they would just have lots of good music and good singers, and they were called Music Box Reviews. And so this was in Berlin's third Music Box Review. It was written about his fiancée, a society social named Ellen McKay, who had been sent to Europe by her disapproving father in hopes that she would forget about Irving Berlin. You're not going to marry some musician. She did not forget about Berlin, and eventually they did get married. So there's your trivia for the day. The song was also recorded by Johnny Mathis, Frank Sinatra, like I said, Linda Ronstadt with the Nelson Riddle Orchestra, and guess who else? Bob Dylan. Go figure. Go figure. The song was used in The Great Gatsby, that movie that came out in 1974 with Mr. Robert Redford, and it was also in The Butcher's Wife in 1991. So good songs are always good songs, and they get used for lots of things. All right, so this is a waltz, and I actually did it on easy waltz at 90. I did it on big band waltz, and I tried a lullaby waltz, and I really liked what happened on the lullaby waltz. It was very beautiful because it sounded more like a music box, which had nothing to do with the song. It had to do with the Music Box Review. All right, so I'm going to play it first, just for fun, so you can hear what'll I do actually sounds like. Watch your eighth note triplets. Those are 3 notes in the space of 1 beat. Oops, let's start down here. Okay, I did add a few new chords, nothing big, so it's not going to take us that long to go through this song. Second line, first measure, the C chord is good for 2 counts. Over the A quarter note, you may wish to put in a C7, which is C and B flat. The next measure, I'm going to give you a choice. You can play the F minor, or you can play a D minor 7 flat the 5th. It's a 4-fingered chord. It just adds a little bit of spice. The notes are C, D, F, A flat. So here's what an F minor sounds like. Here's the D minor 7 flat the 5. So either one, whichever one is more comfortable for you, or whichever one you want to challenge yourself with, because they both sound fine, so no worries on that one. Third line, no changes. Fourth line, first measure, first count over that whited in half note, C or C7. You're already on C, so the C7 would be the addition. Second page, second line. I'm going to give you a choice here as well. You may play the A minor in the second measure, or you may play an A7. So you either want a minor tone or you want the major tone. It sounds good either way. Same thing with a D minor. You may play the D minor, or you may play a D or a D7.
Dawn, where are you
Yes.
inserting those, please?
I am on the second line, second page, second line. The A minor and the D minor. You can play the A minor, or you can play an A7, which is a major chord. You may play the D minor, or you can play a D7. Now, don't mix and match. If you play the minors, play the minors. If you play the majors, play the 2 majors. They actually both sound equally fine. So whichever one you like according to your ear. Third line, no changes. Fourth line, the C is good for 2 counts. If you wish, you may make that A quarter note a C7. This is just a repetition from the first page. You may play the F minor, or you may play a D minor 7 flat the 5th, which is C, D, F, and A flat. And that's it.
What's the tempo?
The tempo on this is 90, or whatever you like. If you like it a little faster than that, up the tempo. I played it on a big band waltz. It gave it a completely different flavor. Follow the road map. You've got 2 sets. You've got 2 endings. A first ending, Then you've got your repeat dots at the end of line 3. Go up to the top of the page to your repeat dots for the second verse. Play line 1, line 2, the first 2 measures of line 3, jump down to the second ending, and finish the song. That's how easy it is. Okay, this is a big band waltz. Goes into a key change. And I stayed away from the big band instruments except for the brass on the bottom. I think it was rhythm preset number 2 that I used on that one. But try different sounds as well. You don't always have to use the rhythm preset 0. Try some of the other rhythm presets to see what it gives you.
This is a song set. What is the music on the song set?
I don't know if it's in song setup.
It is. It's guitar 3/4.
Ah, guitar 3/4? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it don't sound very good.
Well, there's lots of waltzes to choose.
It comes up there at 82.
82
Really
is
not
fine.
fast
I
enough.
think 82 is a little slow, but that's all right.
Yeah.
If it's 82 and you like it at 82, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's do some fingering. I've got lots of changes for you in the next song. That's why I'm kind of pushing through this one a little fast. All right, C1, D2, E3, G5, C1, A flat 4, C1, G4, A5, F3, G4, E2, F3, D1, check mark. D2, E3, D2, C1. Your pickup notes in the first ending, C1, D2, E3. The second ending, after that held C, put a check mark. F1, G2, A3, C5. Put an arrow on this next one, make it an A2. It's going to be a lot easier to reach up to the D at the top of the page with a D5. A2, C4, A2, D5, C4, G2, E1, A3, E1, D2 with a circle. Cross it over. Third line, C1, D2, E3, G5, C1, A flat 4.
Stephen G. Stephen
Whoops.
G.
Oops, let me just,
Phone call. Can you mute yourself?
yeah,
Whoever's,
go.
whoever's getting the phone, can you please mute yourself? That would help tremendously. Thank you. Okay, line 3. Is that where we are? C1, D2.
What was, yeah,
C1, D2, E3, G5, C1, A flat 4, C1.
okay.
Fourth line, G4, A5, F3, G4, E2, F3, D1, check mark. D2, E3, D2, and C1. This is a nice, easy song to play. Even if you add the extra chords, it's still pretty easy. Try it on the lullaby if you wish. Try
Dawn,
any of the waltzes.
Dawn, could you
Yes.
go one for fingering first?
Yes, where?
I got this first, very first line, or first line, and the second line, first measure.
Of the first page?
Yes, please.
Okay, C1, D2, E3, G5, C1, A flat 4, C1, G4, A5, F3, G4, E2, F3,
Great,
D1.
thank you.
Does that help?
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Dawn,
Yes?
when you changed your sound, you went down to the lower keyboard.
Uh-huh.
Was that at the first ending when you went down, or was that the second ending?
It would be the beginning. Well, either place works.
Okay, so you went down to a big band on the,
You could do it either place. You could do it at the end of the first ending when before you pick up those pickup notes.
uh-huh,
It would be the middle of the first ending. You'd want to do the what'll I do. You'd want to make
Okay.
your change there.
at
Or
the,
you'd
at
want to
that
make it
C? Okay,
you'd want to make it in the middle of the second ending, right before those pickup notes, and that's the
okay,
bridge
so
part.
if you
Either
go
place.
back at the first ending and play that and come to the second ending, would you change again or keep
You
going?
could. You
Okay.
could. That would be the place. That would be absolutely be the place. And you could
So, but if you-
actually just pick a different preset if you want.
If you've already changed it at the first ending,
Mhm. You can
so
change it
then
again.
you could do another ending, I mean, another sound there, or would you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you could change it to go back to verse 2, and then you could change it again at the bridge, which is right there, the bottom of the page 1.
Okay, so what would you change it to the second time there?
Whatever you want. You
Okay.
could go back to the top, or you could poke a different preset. And just try a few things. This is the lullaby, which gives
What's
it a whole
lullaby?
different flavor. I just think that background just gives it such a sweet feel to it. So if I had to pick my favorite one, it would be that one.
Dawn, what's the lullaby waltz under?
It's under waltz. Is it 1 or 2? Waltz 2.
Okay, all
Waltz 2.
right, thank you.
And those of you that have Style List, don't be afraid to check and see if you even have it by going to Style List. You would go to your keypad, go to the alphabet, go to the L's because you're looking for lullaby, and then instead of hitting Song Setup, you want to go to the other side and hit Style List, and it will start at the L's and bring up all the styles, the Life, the Latin Big Band. It brings up all the L's, and then it will show up in alphabetical order if you have it. And then you can touch it and go, oh, it's over here. It's there.
Mhm.
So, but you can always use your Style List to find something that I suggest. That's the quick way, actually.
Mhm.
Okay, any questions about what'll I do? It's kind of cut and dried here. It's a beautiful song. I do recommend that you try it. But that's it for teaching on that one. So, you know, we got lots of stuff to do in the next one. So let's go to the next song. When I Fall in Love. What a beautiful song this one is. And I have lots of changes. Why? Because
As you can.
And I like to, because I can. The evil teacher comes out. No, When I Fall in Love is a popular song introduced in the film 1 Minute to Zero. I have not still seen this film. Jerry Southern sang on the first recording in April of '52. The song has become a standard. The first hit version was actually by Doris Day, released in July of '52. Natalie Cole did this as a duet. Also, the same time that she was doing Unforgettable as a duet with her dad, Nat King Cole, she did When I Fall in Love as a duet also on that same album. It just wasn't as well known. Who else did this was Johnny Mathis, Etta James, The Letterman, Donny Osmond, Linda Ronstadt, again, did this one. Rick Astley, wow, that's a interesting choice. And Celine Dion. I can absolutely hear her doing this. By the way, does anybody know what 1 Minute to Zero, is anybody familiar with that film at all?
Mm-mm.
It was a 1952 romantic war film starring Robert Mitchum and Anne Blythe, set during the Korean War. So yeah, so you might, if you see it on Turner Classic, you know, check it out. I would like to see it because the plot sounds like it would be something really nice to watch. So,
Yeah.
you know, yep, if you want to watch a romantic war film, that would be a good one. And if you ever see it on Turner Classic, let me know what you think of it. So then if I see it, I can watch it too. All right, let's take a look at some chords. Make that very first F. Get your pencils out, and boy, do I hope they're sharp. Make that very first F an F major 7. F, capital M-A-J 7. Your two notes are E and F. The mathematical formula for major 7s are the letter -1. That's good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the B flat for the word fall. Put in a D7, dinosaur 7. Your two notes are C and D. Second measure over the F whole note. First beat G minor, gorilla minor, or G minor 7. So it's either G and B flat or F, G and B flat for 2 counts. Beat 3, put in a C or a C7, chicken 7, C and B flat. Next measure over the C quarter note, put in an F major 7. We're just going to repeat the chord progression. E and F for 2 counts. Over the B flat, D or D7, C and D. The next measure, the notes are good, the chords are good, G minor and C7. Make that next F in measure 2. Make it an F major 7, E and F. If that's the only new chord you learn, by the way, that's a pretty one to learn and an easy one to learn. That's good for 2 counts. Over the D for the word never, put in a B flat, butterfly flat. Just your thumb up to the B flat. Cross out the D in the next measure and change it to E flat or E flat 7. Elephant flat or elephant flat 7, which is D flat and E flat. For 2 counts. Beat 3, which is in between the notes. Put your D or D7 back in. The G minor is fine. Third line, the C7 is fine. Let's go to the third line, second measure. Make the F an F major 7, E and F. Beat 3 over the F quarter note for the word world. B or B7, butterfly 7. Your two notes are A and B. Cross out the G minor and replace it with B flat major 7. Butterfly flat major 7, which is the B flat and the A right next door to it. A and B flat. Cross out the C or C7 and replace it with E flat or E flat 7, which would be D flat and E flat. Fourth line, first measure, cross out the F and replace it with A minor or A minor 7. C, G, and A. Now the two notes you need are C and A. The G is optional. It's the 7. If you have a little C minor in beat 3, cross that one out and replace it. This is beat 3 of the first measure. B flat major 7, which is A and B flat, butterfly flat. Next measure, I'm going to give you a choice. You can play D7 for the entire measure, or beat 1, you may play A minor 7 flat 5. Ooh, 4-fingered chord. E flat, G, A, C, E flat, G, A, and C. Now if you play it with the C on the bottom, it's going to show up as a C minor 6, which technically is the same tonality, so just beware that it's going to show different in the window. And then if you use that chord, beat 3, which is in between the notes, now put your D or D7 back in. And that's it for page 1. Whew, that was a lot. We got another page. Top line of the second page. The D7 is good. The G minor or G minor 7 is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the D quarter note for the word warmth. Put in a D augmented, D-A-U-G, Daug. That's what it spells, Daug. And it's your 3 notes. 3 notes are D, F sharp, A sharp. The mathematical formula for an augmented chord is the letter plus 4 more. And you need to play all 3 to make it sound. Last measure of the top line, cross out the C and replace it with G minor or G minor 7 for 2 counts. Beat 3 of that measure. Put your C or C7 back in. Let's go to
I
line.
lost you. Excuse me.
Where are you? Where are you?
I was just writing the letters or the notes for de-augmented.
Okay.
And now you said on the next measure, the C is okay?
Nope, the C, cross it out and put G minor.
Okay,
And then put your C7 back in for beat 3.
got it.
Perfect. Second line. You're welcome. Make the F an F major 7, E and F. Third beat over the B flat for the word give. D or D7, dinosaur 7. Second measure, first beat over the word heart. G minor, gorilla minor, or G minor 7 for 2 counts. Beat 3 of that same measure, C, chicken, or C7, C and B flat. Third measure, first beat over the C quarter note for the word it. F major 7, E and F. Like I said, if that's the only chord you learn, that's a good one to learn. For 2 counts. Over the B flat for the word B, put in a D or D7, dinosaur 7, C and D. The last measure is fine the way it is. Let's go to line 3. Make the F an F major 7, E and F. Beat 3 over the D quarter note for never. Put in a B flat or a B flat 7, A flat and B flat. Cross out the D, and replace it with E flat or E flat 7, elephant flat 7, which is D flat and E flat. For 2 counts. Beat 3, which is in between the notes. Put your D or D7 back in. That's it for that line. Let's go to line 4. Make the F an F major 7. That's the chord to learn, I'm telling you. E and F for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the F quarter note for the word I. Put in a B or a B7, butterfly 7. Your 2 notes are A and B, and you can go ahead and play that with your thumb on both of the notes at the same time. The B flat, make it a B flat major 7. Your 2 notes are A and B flat. Cross out the D in the next measure and replace it with A minor or A minor 7. C, G, A. Or just C and A, that's all you need. For 2 counts. Beat 3 in between the notes. D or D7, put that chord back in. G minor is good for 2 counts. I want you to cross out the C and the B flat minor and replace it with E flat or E flat 7, elephant flat 7, which is the 2 black keys, D flat and E flat. And the last line, 1 change. Make the first F an F major 7. And that's it.
Not bad.
Not too bad. Not too bad. But again, if you like the song with the chords that are already there, that's fine. But it goes slowly enough that you should be able to put in at least some of these because they are very beautiful. Okay. Your song set up on some of the organs, it comes up to Smoky Lounge. On this particular organ, which is a beautiful symphony, by the way, it comes up to Smoky Strings. Ooh, that is such a nice background. And I also did this on Strings 101. All of this is right around 75, by the way, 75 beats a minute. And you might want to try, I tried something different. I did Bossa Nova with a golden harp on a guitar pattern.
Ooh, nice.
Well, that's because I slowed it down from 127 down to 75. So it lost a little bit. So I added in the golden harp. I went to the more. I went to the guitar pattern, and I found an acoustic guitar to make it. And that actually sounds like, that background sounds like this. You can hear that guitar strumming, can't you? And it
Lots of ink sounds good too.
I'm sure, Ken. I tried it also on Aloha. I tried it on the 50s Love Songs, which is the ballad with no variation. Crazy Country was good. Love Ballad is good. On the smaller instruments, the ballad 50s Love Songs is absolutely spectacular. The mellow, easy 8-beat. On the easies, the smooth, either the full band, the pianist, or the guitarist all work beautifully. And Wonderful World works very nicely on this as well. So there are lots and lots and lots of choices on this to have some beautiful, beautiful backgrounds. But don't be afraid to experiment like I just did with the Bossa Nova and the Golden Harp. It just changes it up just a little bit to just make it really, really nice. Let's start with song setup, which came up to Smoky Strings. And I know I haven't given you fingering yet either, but we'll do that. Oh, that's so nice. what song setup comes up with. Now, if you go to the regular rhythm preset, when you're done with the two sounds, remember, song setup never brings up the rhythm preset because it may, and it usually does, it pulls up two different sounds that normally would not come up under rhythm preset. So if I go to rhythm preset for Smoky Strings, and I memorized everything, so I touched number 2 because that's where I'm at. But this is what it would come up for rhythm preset for Smoky Strings. And you could go to this one next. So it gives you those great big strings.
Right.
And I love those. It's like your
You
Nelson
really
Riddle
can't-
Orchestra.
Any clothes?
So that's what you would do if you're playing it on Smoky Strings.
It's really cool.
It also works on Strings 101. It's going to give you those big 101 strings as well.
On the inside, a little bit.
I think that's Dottie.
Sorry.
That's okay, Dottie. It's all right. How is Cesar, by the way?
Hanging in.
Hanging in. I'll go for that. Okay. Okay, let's do some fingering, and then I'll try a few more rhythms on this. But did you see how fabulously lush those chords make it sound? Did you also see that I tried to use my sexy sax, which comes up on the song setup and on many of your instruments, and do the gliding?
Yeah.
Yes, you want to do some gliding so it makes it sound more real. And also, don't forget to let your horn player breathe. That means you have to occasionally lift your hand. Even if your fingers would have gone smoothly, the saxophone player's breath could not have made it for all of the measures. So always try to lift your finger occasionally to give your sax player a chance to breathe. Okay? All right. Very nice. Let's do some fingering. C1, F2, B flat 5, A4, F2. C1, F2, B flat 5, A4, F2, G3, A1, I'm sorry, C1. Oh, thinking about other things. C1, F2, D5, C4, B flat 3, A2, G1, third line A3, B flat 4, C5, F1, 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 A3, G2, A3, B flat 4, last line on that page, C5, A3, B flat 4, C5, A3, B flat 4, C5, B flat 3, C4, D5, G1, G1, G1. Let's go to the second page. B flat 3, A2, B flat 3, C4, D5, B flat 3, C4, D5, B flat 3, D5, C4. Second line, C1, F2, B flat 5, A4, F2. C1, F2, B flat 5, A2, I'm sorry. Back up, it's B flat 5, A4. Made you erase, ha. No, I did not do that on purpose, I'm so sorry. A4, F2, G3. Third line, C1, F2, high D5, C4, B flat 3, A2, G1, A2, B flat 3, C4, F1, 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 high E5, D4, low D1, high D5, D5, C4, D5, B flat 3, G2, last line, C1, F2, B flat 5, A4, F2, G3, F2. Okay. Any questions? Did I lose anybody?
Just a little. Second page, fourth line, third verse or third
Measure.
Fourth line, third measure?
yes.
Okay, D5, C4, D5, B flat 3, G2. Anybody else?
Dawn, on the second page, the fourth line, the first measure, what's the chord over the F there? Is that a B7 or?
The chord over the F is a butterfly 7, third beat.
You sure it's not a B flat 7?
Nope, I'm sure.
I played the B7, it doesn't sound right.
It's a jazz chord. It came out of a jazz book. It's going to sound fine. Now, the reason you're saying that it doesn't sound right is because that B7 has an F sharp in it and it's going to clash.
Correct.
But it's okay. It's supposed to. Sometimes you want to get that. I know, because sometimes I play them too. Here's. But it's the chord that comes before and after it. It's the progression. If you play the progression, it sounds right. It's sometimes when the jazz people play, they try really hard to make the notes and the chords clash. Or at least sometimes that's what it seems. And it has to do with the beautiful chord progression. It doesn't always have to do with matching the note.
Yeah, because I noticed in a lot of D7 chords there's a B flat and an F, which clashes with the D7.
Exactly. And it was meant to be that way. So you're going to have to open up your ears a little bit for the chord progressions and not necessarily sitting on the chord and the note. Because if you sit on the chord and the note only, you're going to hear a clash. But when you hear the progression of the chords, you're going to hear a much prettier sound. Let's get rid of this and just do this. So I'm on second page, fourth line. I'm just going to play the chord progression. And the chord progression itself sounds fabulous. And then when you play it with the notes, so it sounds pretty when you put it all in context. If you take it out of context, jazz chords will do that. They will absolutely not match every single note that you're playing, and they do that on purpose. They're looking for that intonation, that clash. They're looking for that, so that harmonically they can make it resolve with the next chord.
Yeah, when I heard this song the first time with Linda Ronstadt, she kind of did the whole first verse of that with no background. She just sang it herself, and then the orchestra kicked in on the second part of it.
That might be a way that you'd want to arrange it too. You might want to start with just maybe an easy chord and play it, and then bring the orchestra in for the second verse. Absolutely, what a wonderful way to arrange it.
Yeah, it sounded great.
I'm sure it did. Thank you.
Dawn?
Yeah.
Dawn, where, again, I get hooked up here, hung up on where you go up and down. when you start out now, and when did you change sounds? You
You know
went
what? I
down.
don't remember where that was.
Just didn't do it when you feel like it.
I think it would be, the best place would be at the end of the top line on the second page.
Oh. Okay.
I think that would be the best place. But don't be afraid to do In a Restless World. You could change it for In a Restless World as well. So, you know, it's always at the end of a phrase, and it's usually going to be every 8 measures. But I don't change sounds often because I don't want it to sound disjointed.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll do subtle changes like adding a duet or adding some strings to a piano. I'll do subtle changes more than complete sound changes. But when you do make a complete sound change, you always have that contrasting sound on the bottom. Now, you don't have to like it. You might like something that's in a different preset. So that's totally up to you as to, you know, listen to some of the contrasting sounds and see if it's something you like.
And on that last line on the second measure, you said A minor 7 flat the 5th, and that was E flat G A C?
Yes, exactly correct. And if you put the C on the bottom, it's going to change it to a C minor 6, which still has that minor tonality, and it's just going to show up differently on your screen.
But you don't want to put, okay.
But I like it up on the top. I like the way it sounds. It's a little more challenging to play that way. I'm going to put this now on the 50s love songs, okay, because a lot of the smaller instruments have that 50s love songs on their instrument. And I'm going to use a sax flugelhorn combination on one verse, and then I'm going to go to a sexy sax on the next verse. So here we go with 50s love song. Everybody knows this background. Lots of ways to arrange this song to make it sound absolutely fabulous.
What did you like the best? Which one do you like the
Oh, that would be a tough choice. I think I really liked Strings 101, but you know that's one of my favorite backgrounds. So
Yeah.
yeah, because I love the big strings, smoky strings with the rhythm preset with those big strings. I also enjoyed that one. The saxes are a little tougher to pull off because the saxophone is the instrument that's the most like the human voice. And so it's hard to make it sound real. You have to let them breathe. You've got to get those glides in there. You have to think like you're a saxophone player. And so to get the sax to really sound true takes a little bit of work. And it's a nice challenge because that's one of the world's nicest instruments, I think. Yep. The
I'm
string.
glad you told us about the breathing because of the sax.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was listening to you play and it's so true.
Mhm.
Saxophone player can only play just so much.
Yep, yep. Or a trombone player, same thing. If
Right.
you're using a glide on a trombone, he's got to take a breath someplace. So,
Right.
so think like the instrument
Good
you're
point.
playing.
Yep.
And just lift your hand and give him a chance to take a little bit of a breath there. All right. Any other questions? Anything you want to say to each other before we decide to say goodbye?
Miss you. Miss
Dawn,
Yeah.
Yes.
Dawn. Yeah, when I played it, I always played it to the end of the song, went back to the beginning, and went to the first 8 measures, and then jumped over to the last part of the second, just to end it a little bit differently.
Yeah, you can do that. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's called arranging your sections. Because
Yeah.
you've got 8 measures and 8 measures and 8 measures, and if you feel like making it a little longer, add something different, and because that's the way orchestras do it. They'll put in a solo section, or they'll let the violin section take this part and the saxophone section take this part, and then they'll go off and change it up a little bit and end it on a different section than normal. Yep.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh,
Dawn, what are we doing next week?
That's a good question. Good question. We have When You Wish Upon a Star.
Okay.
Oh, let's just leave it at the one song. I think I can
Okay.
find enough
Thank
stuff.
you.
I think we can find enough stuff for that to make it really pretty. If I can't find enough stuff to make that really pretty, then we will add the next song, which is Where or When.
Dawn, just a little trivia.
Yeah.
Robert only had 22 people today. You had 37.
Oh,
Woo! Woohoo!
it's not a competition, but thank you. Thank you.
That's
No,
because she's the best.
I enjoy the teaching. I hope you guys are enjoying the songs as much as I enjoy the music. And if you learn one thing, and if it be from me, from Robert, from Sean, from anybody who's teaching, if you learn one thing every time you tune in, then you are 100% successful. Yeah, it's not
Well,
a
what about if
competition.
Hey,
what
thank
about
you.
if we learn it but then we forget it?
Yeah, well, that's why I'll keep repeating
That comes
it.
with
that's the
age.
problem.
You notice that when I do other songs, I'll add the same types of things so that I will keep continuing to repeat some of the lessons so that you can learn it. Because it does take repetition. You do have to be reminded to let the saxophone player breathe,
Right.
or try your golden harp. We'll work on that a different time too, using that bossa nova and adding a golden harp to just make a guitar player strumming throughout the song. We'll work on that for a different song too, because there's all kinds of things that you can do to make an arrangement. And I would love to just spend the whole week on just one song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always said that when I had 20 classes, I want to retire so I can spend 1 week on one song. Well, I have 8 classes now, 8 in store and online, and I'm spending more time on the songs because I have a little bit more time to really work the songs up to make them something a little bit nicer for you and give you some ideas on how to make an arrangement yourself. So I'm enjoying doing all of this as well. But I'm open to suggestions, so anytime you want to email me, 5028@fletchermusic.com. I'm open to suggestions all the time. If you need music, shoot me an email, let me know what you need, and I'm here to do as much helping as I can. Thank you guys so much, and
Hi, Tam.
Great job. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Dawn. Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Bye, Joe. Bye, Dawn.
Bye.
Bye,
Love you
Inez.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.